There are moments in football that refuse to fade. Moments that sit in the memory of a club, in the silence of the locker room, in the ones who stole the night. But football has a way of circling back. A new season arrives, new players, new lessons learned the hard way. And a question hangs over round one. Was that night a warning? Or was it the moment that forged something stronger? Carlton have spent the summer searching for answers. In the gym, on the track, in the quiet conversations that happen when no one else is listening. Because the best teams, they don't forget the losses that hurt the most. They use them. And now the stage is set once again. Carlton, Richmond, round one. Same rivalry, same stakes. But maybe, just maybe, this Carlton team is different.
Whew! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Teams Show here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. It is Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2026, and we are ready. I think we're ready to start talking about round one at some point. We're probably going to be talking about other things as well, because in this show, we're going to go through all the news. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to get on with it. It's great to be back in routine, and it's great to be here with you on the Team Show, proudly brought to you by Mr. Cabinets. Mr. Cabinets, 3 years sponsoring the Team Show consecutively. And, you know, if you've got any renovations happening, if you need anything done to your kitchen, Mr. Cabinets is your way to go. And if you are watching Adrian Portelli's new series, you'll see that Mr. Cabinets is actually the major partner there. They also do all the work on the popular series, The Block. So be sure to get in touch with Derek from Mr. Cabinets. Great Carlton man. And yeah, very, very grateful to have his support and the support of Mr. Cabinets as a whole. Yeah, look, that was one of the better intros that we'll get. I don't know, I've raised the bar pretty high. I spent a few hours doing that today. I was playing around with this AI tool that I found, and I was like, oh, I wonder if we can do like a Morgan Freeman voiceover. Like, how do you do that? And I figured out how to do it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope we're excited, because I hope we're not just copying last week and then that's it, back in our doldrums and like sitting around crying about it. Like, at some point, you just got to get on with it. There's 6 months of football. 5-6 months of a footy season. So I hope that we're able to move on from it. I'm sure we are. But anyway, we're going to get through everything today. Hello, Kate. I see you are here. Rocco, you are here. Christine, hello. We are pumped for tomorrow night. I really do think we are pumped for tomorrow night. Who else is here? Hyde, you're here. Gab, hello. Looking forward to a win. It's been a long week. Rocco, who's cutting the oranges at halftime tomorrow? Hello, Fry Boy. Hello, Julie. Ricky, I see you. Jonathan Tedelato, I see you in here. Lou Felino, always in here. Up the guts, on edge. On edge. There's a few of you on edge. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I mean, I'll also be on edge at halftime tomorrow, or actually just throughout the game, but we'll get there. Hello, Gokhan. Hello. Ricky, good to see you, mate. The tension is building as usual. Yeah. CFC ahead. Just became a BA member in the last few minutes. Mate, welcome and thank you. Thank you for signing up. Let's have a look. I see you here. Yes, you and Gabrielle. Thank you very much for signing up. And just remember that we're doing the giveaway. One of the many things we're doing on this show tonight is we're doing a couple of giveaways. So there will be 2 giveaways for members tonight. Originally, there was going to be 1. I'm going to be giving away the signed Guernsey by the number 1 draft picks, given it's round 1. together with the signed team select cards. So Murphy, Gibbs, and Cruiser. I'm also going to spin the wheel again and give away the Champions of Carlton book, which Miles so graciously donated to us. So if you didn't tune in on Monday night, Miles Wilkes joined us. He's created a book called Champions of Carlton with a number of unseen popular photos of the Carlton Football Club. It's an over 200-page book. So I'll be giving away that as well to somebody tonight, a member. And then what I've also got is I've got a guest who's going to join, a Carlton supporter who's got 2 reserve seat tickets in the Olympic stand tomorrow night, level 2. So I won't put that one for members. What I'll do is a little later on, I'll find a way for us to, for those of you who need 2 tickets to enter, and then we'll spin the wheel. So quite a few giveaways today. We're going to listen to some press conferences. We're going to just chat amongst ourselves. We've got a bit of content that I found online, a breakdown of the way Carlton play. Carlton is just it's just such a popular thing to talk about, no matter what channel you are. And anyway, we'll go from there. How's everyone's week been? We're on a hiding to nothing tomorrow night, says Rocco. Hello, Paul, calling from the UK. Good to see you. 6 o'clock a.m. for you. Getting up for work. Hope everyone is well. Carol, Facade, and Burn for Fog today. Please go Blues. Well, the Mail says that there's going to be a couple of changes tonight. Not 1, not 2, but apparently 3. So we'll see if the Mail's right. Do you want to know the Mail, or are you happy to live? Actually, it doesn't matter. Someone's going to type it in the comments anyway. But the Mail says that both Carroll and Cowan will come in, as well as Hudson O'Keefe. That's the Mail. That is what they're saying. Hello, C. Pash. You love the intro. Good. Glad you enjoyed it. Graziella, hello to you. Adam Baggers. Excited to be there tomorrow. Up the guts. You are watching this while cooking some trout. Hopefully that's a good sign. I hope Tiger's trout is cooked at the end of the game. Pronounce Gabriel rather than Gabrielle. Apologies for that. I can call you Gab. Okay. Only Carlton fans could spend all summer saying Swans will smash us, then have a meltdown when it actually happens. I know, man. I know. It is unbelievable how it plays out. Anyway, Patrick, there should be 3 changes after last week's thrashing. Right, you know what? Maybe I'll ask before the teams come out at 6:20 p.m. Can you have a guess or type in the comments what you would do, what changes you would make tonight? So in 3, 1, 2, or 3 names, or 4, however, and out. So in your comment, make sure you write the ins and the outs. And then at 6:20, we'll obviously find out exactly who are the ins and the outs. Aaron Dirks, your GOAT, O'Keefe. Alpha time, win, lose, or draw. It's great to have footy back. Go Blues. Yeah, it is great to have footy back. I would prefer to be winning, but we will see. Pommy is in the chat. Hit your name and click hide. Oh, is my name up here? Disgusting. There we go. You don't need to know my name. You know my name. So I'm actually using a new system here. It's called Restream instead of StreamYard. I'm testing it out. Actually, if anybody wants to test out if the join link works, click that. That would be helpful. Come and share your thoughts on anything. Ask anything you like. Bring up a topic that you like. Let's have a look at some of your changes. Hyde, you want Cowan, Carroll, and Burn in, Facade, Gov, and Fogg. Matthew, you're pretty much going the exact same. Dirksen and Byrne are so popular. Dirksen, Byrne, Boyd for me, and Haynes O'Keefe for Reedy. So Haynes is going to be playing in the VFL this week. He will not be available. Yerby. You've got Boyd and Carroll in, and you've got Sard and Young out. CFC 26, clever. Govan Young out, Carroll and Cal in with Dirks for Sardine. Very good. Very good. Nicola in. Anyone else out? Young. I know it's harsh, but it feels necessary. I reckon Lewis Young, I reckon he's copped a bit of an unfair whack this week. Of all the Lewis Young games, I don't think last week was the one. But fair enough. Yes, Sardi's injured. So Jay Canny, you're saying out, Fogg, Gov, Reedy in, Carroll, Dirksen, O'Keefe, and Byrne. All right. Aaron Dirks, Young, McGovern, Sard, and Reedy out. Byrne, O'Keefe, Carroll, and Cowan in. Maybe a Campo instead of Byrne for more midfield rotations. Slobbo. TJP and everyone has been saying the same thing about Harry that I've been saying for ages. Are you finally going to admit he isn't up for it? I think he is up for it. I just think he's got to find it. There's something that's been lost. I thought he found it at the back end of last year. But Slobbo, mate, what are you going to do? You're going to not play him for the rest of the season? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to drop him for the rest of the year? He's on the list. Long-term deal. And we need him, and we need him to find it. Need him to find form. Moontide. Is Sard available? No, he's not. He's injured. Let me share my screen. And let's go through the injury list. So for those of you who haven't seen this, this is the latest injury list. Came out yesterday. All right. So Adam Sard, the update was it's on a modified program, round 3 or 4 availability, minor hamstring strain, which is expected to see him available to play shortly after the round 2 bye. Is this the 3rd year in a row that we've done the Adam Sard hamstring? I think it is. I think 24, 25, and now 26. Yeah, I think this is the 3rd year in a row. Francis Evans will be given the extra fortnight to recover, and he's expected to be available shortly after the round 2 bye. They're saying round 3 and 4. So, yeah, this is the injury list here. Chera, Sard, Evans, and Cottrell all will apparently be available between round 3 and 4. So round 3 is Melbourne on a Sunday at the MCG, and round 4 is the following Friday, Good Friday, against North Melbourne. So I'm going to guess that all 4 of these guys would be available. Just say round. I mean, I get whatever, round 3 or 4. If it's round 3, then it's a short turnaround to round 4. So probably just round 4 to be safe. But we'll see. Billy Wilson, no update from last week. Hotspot was detected in his foot, which means they're just waiting to see maybe until it settles down. That could be a nasty update there. And we know Harry O'Farrell and Jesse Motlop won't. Well, long-term injuries. Harry O'Farrell could play this year. Jesse Motlop won't. But yeah, really 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know where you guys see all 4 of these guys, whether they're in the first choice team or not. But yeah, they're not too far away. So touch wood, not the worst injury list. Slob, we need him to lift and play with some more desire and presence. That's what annoys me. He looks amazing at times. Doesn't want to be there and gets pushed off the ball way too easy for a man of his size. Yeah. We broke it down on Monday night. Yeah, I just think it's all in his head. And when he's got that switch on, do you remember that game against Well, I think all the games that he played at the back end of last year, Gold Coast at Marvel, Port Adelaide at Marvel, I reckon those two specifically stick out. He looked like he was fresh, and he looked like he really wanted to dominate. So we're going to need that from him. When he's playing with confidence, he can be valuable. Can't wait for the tank to be out there. Dude just makes our forward line so much cleaner. Yeah, he certainly does. All right. Shall we watch a presser? Let's do that. Let's do that. Although I'm probably going to get triggered again. So I have already watched this, but geez. This was grim watching this Carlton presser. I got triggered a lot. And if you've watched it, you might be triggered again. And I probably will be triggered again. But anyway, we'll check it out. And stand by. All right.
Let's get straight into it with the Sam Jockey audio that emerged, and clearly it didn't mean for those comments to go public, but when you did hear them, what was your reaction hearing that from a former captain?
I didn't give it a hell of a lot of thought. Probably only just, I guess, people keep asking me about, last year's best and fairest speech, and culturally we defeat ourselves. So I just felt that as an example of that. For us to have a productive conversation, I think we all need to know that we're not going to get mixed between the old and the new. We're new, and that's the way we're going forward.
How far is it from what you address in the rooms after a performance like Thursday night?
Oh, well, all of those have accountability when you don't finish the game that you want. You set the game up and don't finish the way we want. So what that does do is give us feedback as a group. Caught us a little bit by surprise, I've got to say, because I guess the information we had before that was, certainly not that. We found moments to be able to fight when it was needed, and we didn't through the third quarter when we needed to. So, when you think of the bigger context of the game and there's 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go or thereabouts, and you're still, couple of kicks off it, you expect us to be able to fight better than that. So we let ourselves down on that. I'd imagine we're going to have some imperfection in that in early days. As I said, we're going to step into the new. And with that, we're obviously chasing a game model we want to play, and we want to do it more consistently. There may be moments of break, but at those particular times, what we do expect is that we stick together as a footy team, and it might not look perfect, but we've got to fight more through those moments. So that is definitely something we acknowledge we need to get better at.
Do you talk to Sam at all? What's he
I'll move forward with the team I've got, because a lot of the stuff becomes he said, she said, and I can spend a lot of time talking about that here. But what I'd prefer to talk about is the game, and we're beginning again. That's what you do need to know. So I'll be pretty strong on that through these conversations and anything that I talk with the players. So I don't spend a hell of a lot of time focusing or sharing what others say about us. What I do is reinforce the behaviours we need, and when things get tough, we stick together. So that's what we'll do.
Were you made aware that he would be uninvited from
We'll move on into the new. So
well,
no, I'm not.
He's still going, this bloke. Still going.
If that is a distraction.
No, I'm not aware of that at all. I'm coaching footy team in the next 48 hours.
Just one more on it, Michael, just because of what Sam means to the footy club. Does it mean any more, or because he's entered the media, is it just another voice on the outside?
We'll move on to what we need to be able to do, which is focused in on our game this weekend.
So in your review after Thursday night, how much do you focus on the other three quarters versus just the third quarter, the run on they got?
Well, a bit of both, because we have to reinforce our trademark and the identity ultimately we want to play. So we've had plenty of opportunities to be able to do that, and against some quality opposition, we were able to execute that. So it's finding that reinforcement, but also acknowledging we need to keep progressing as a football team, and we've got to find these marginal improvements. And in this case, it was a pretty significant one. So there's been a ton of work done through the pre-season that we weren't able to execute in that particular moment. So we address it with honesty. We take ownership of it. It's the only way that we know. And then we look at those points of improvement we need to be able to make before we begin our next game.
Is there a concern, Michael, if the game does get outside and
really quick and open that you will struggle, and you did last week?
As the game went on, I can't dispute that. That's not something that I can dispute right now. The only way we can change that is by going about what we do next. It's been something that we've gone a hell of a lot of work with over pre-season. So not just how we defend, but also how we manage the ball, and so that's going to be an important part for us moving forward. So at this point in time, it's 30 minutes of football, and we'll keep it at that. We won't make it any bigger than what it needs to be, and we'll accept that round zero for a quarter, and probably a half if we're truly honest, wasn't the standard we needed to. We let ourselves down for a short period of time, and we won't make it any bigger than that.
Are you confident you've got the cattle to compete that way if
Yeah, I do.
the game goes that way on Thursday night?
Yeah, I do, yeah, very much so.
How did you rate the captain's game, Michael? You looked pretty frustrated by the end of it.
I think we all were. Yeah, I think the captain was a reflection of all of us, and we were good for a short period of time, but we weren't good enough for long enough.
Strategy-wise, what would you make over the weekend, the way Collingwood used Scott Pendlebury, Sydney used Hapley and the fifth player on the bench? Is that something you'll look to perhaps use differently this week or going forward?
Yeah, I think we're still, obviously clearly the combinations and what we go with is a work in progress. Obviously when you look across the competition, everyone's using it slightly different. Brisbane used a second ruck. Obviously some other guys have added an extra midfielder, some have had a small forward. So I don't think it's necessarily consistent that way with how people are applying it. They'll apply it with how it's relevant to their team. So it's difficult to compare against based on your needs. So we'll just keep balancing it up. But obviously we're looking to find out what that best combination is, and we haven't found exactly what we need at this point in time. We'd like everyone in form, feeling good about themselves. And we've got some reason to do that, and we've got some other reasons that we need to be able to get better.
Rivalry was kind of the player that fell into that slot for you. Do you revisit that this way? What was your assessment of how he went as that second ruck that sort of played that least percentage of game time?
Yeah, one of the key strategies coming in was the influence of Grundy. I think we underestimate his impact, and I'd say that Pito and him did a really good job at being able to do that. So weighing up that particular strategy plus also the impact forward of the ball is just obviously something we'll consider weekly, but we'll obviously work through what those combinations need to look like moving forward.
Is it something you're pretty happy with going in with two ruck?
Oh, we have been. I mean, look, I think the most important thing to note is that the group that we played had all had really solid pre-seasons, and they were all carrying some reasonable form coming in, and had made a real shift to the way that we've played, both from the energy on the football field, but also how they were helping us play. So there was enough evidence there to suggest that we can make it work. So I would imagine if it's needed this week, we can certainly do it, and it'll be just something we'll constantly assess.
Sounds like Adam Sard's hamstring not too bad, and do you have a clue on who you might come in to replace him?
Well, Matty Carroll and Lockie Cowan are both available, so our most important was to get them through some managed minutes last week to play some modified minutes through the VFL. So we're able to do that, so those two become available. So I'm guessing one of those two will probably end up taking pretty much his spot. We'll obviously decide that as we get through this particular training session.
On Thursday night, Jagger Smith and Sam Lawler will go head-to-head for the first time. Is that potentially a match-up you'd allow through the midfield?
I don't think I want Jagger at full back. But if he goes down there, we might release it from there. But through the middle, I hope we get to see it. I mean, they're both talented young men. I know how tough it was, having to, decipher all the evidence that through the draft and watching them two come through. And they're both very different players. One's very power orientated. Obviously, Jagger, we felt like was, the player for us. And I'm sure Richmond are not disappointed either. But I'm sure they'll cross each other's path, there's no doubt. We obviously hope that we get the upper hand at some stage, but in that contest. But it's something to look forward to out of the game. It's our first home game of the year. To be able to get our supporters there and with the supporter base here is really important to us. So a lot gets spoken about, us as a football club, but the one thing that we do get is we energise the stadium. And so I'd imagine when you're talking about Carlton Richmond, it's going to be no different. So the contest itself is just something we're really looking forward to. So it's really hard to sort of sit back and sort of think about all the things that get talked around this game other than the game itself. So we get pretty much fixated into that and the jobs we need to be able to get done, and we want to get our first win on the board in front of our home crowd.
Corresponding matchup last year, obviously they kind of knocked you flat on your back a little bit. Do you revisit any element of that going into Thursday?
No, we don't, because it's not, as I said, like step out of the old and go into the new. We're going to have upwards of 10, 12 people that are different who are in that team. So when I say out of the old into the new, we all need to get our heads around that a little bit, because that's what we're trying to embrace. We've got a different dynamic. The way we want to play is going to be different. We're going to have some challenges in that, won't be perfect. But we've got to accept that imperfection. If we're going to get to where we're going to go, we have to actually accept that imperfection, accept a bit of noise around that, and then just keep moving forward.
What are the major dangers that the Tigers pose for you?
Well, they've still got their experience. Well, clearly they've still got their experience.
That was a great question.
That's there. Their youthful energy clearly is something that they do have. Nank's still in the middle, Taranto's still through midfield, Lynch is still full forward, and they've still got some guys down back that can help him with Floston, and if he obviously gets up and is fit and available. So, and then surrounded with some youth. So I don't think we can ever accept that a game is anything going to be hard. And so when we step in every single game, especially these ones, there's an element of passion to it, and becomes a little bit more personal. And this is an important game for our football club.
Just about the theme, Michael, of sticking together in the new Carlton. Have you spoken to Graham about these reports of the club?
No.
Reached out to Craig?
I don't worry myself about those too many things.
You cited before the cultural internal stuff. How applicable is that to all those reports and the like?
No, I haven't even thought about it. So you asked me the question, I'll answer it, but I haven't even thought about it.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thoughts on that? I have a few thoughts on that, but I'll let you go first. I saw a few really cool comments here. What were your thoughts of it? What's the point of the press conference if the clickbait journalists are the ones making the headlines? Yeah, it actually aligns with what I was thinking. So I'm breaking it down. Who is served by the press conference? So all those microphones represent who is served. So 3AW, 9 News, AFL.com.au, Fox Sports, Channel 7, and obviously Carlton Media. They're the ones that get the most, who are there to gain something from those press conferences. But who actually cares about every word that he said in a press conference? That's us. Us here watching every single word, microanalyzing, psychoanalyzing, body language, tone, everything. So I've noticed, like, from our point of view, that's the opportunity right there to hear from Coach and to hear his words. And, we're looking for answers, what happened in the third quarter, whatever, whether it's a win or a loss. And I just think we're always going to be in this point of misalignment, because 3AW want their headline. They want to ask their question that'll get the answer that they're looking for, so that they can write an article about it or whatever. And so will all the other media outlets. And so that's why I think we will constantly find ourselves in this point of frustration. And until you allow people to go to a press conference who represent the fans to ask a question that the fans want to hear, such as how far, like what happened in the third quarter, 38 tackles for the game after 82 in the practice match against Geelong, what came up in the review about the defensive application, particularly in the second half, what are we going to do about next week or the next game when momentum shifts? Who do you rely on? Where's Jack Eisen at? How far away is Taylor Burnout? What's he got to do to, step up? These sorts of questions, we're just constantly going to find ourselves here. Now, I don't know, maybe the damn wall will break, and maybe the fan channels will be able to get there. I get it from the club's point of view as well. You have to have media accreditation to go to such press conferences, right? So they can't just let everyone come in. And, you also have to make sure you can conduct yourself in a certain way. So there's that. I don't know. I think we're going to get to a tipping point. We're going to get to a tipping point at some point. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Match. Dan, the journos might be looking for headlines, but we make it easy for them to find one at this club. Yeah. They all want the quote to play out of context for clicks or views. Yeah. Christian, Would I ever consider doing what Tigercast did and going to the press conferences with my own questions? So Tigercast went there once, back end of last year. They asked him to go to the press conference. He showed up. I think it was round 24 from memory. He told me the story, and no other journos were there. So he ended up having his own press conference with the coach, Adam Uze, last year. I would love to go and ask one question. I would even submit the question before I went and ask it. I would even get a poll here. I'd send out an email and be like, what do you want asked? And I would put a poll up, and the most popular question, I'd go there and I'd ask it. I'd be down to go to the presser. I think especially after hearing some of these questions. I mean, how many times have we watched the presser and we roll our eyes because like, oh, like Voss is giving up word salad. And to be honest, sometimes he does, but I also think he's trying to not give them what they want. So he'll come across with a nothing answer, and then we'll interpret that as, oh, here we go, the word salad again. It's a frustrating one. It really is. Needs full transparency and accessibility similar to what US sport offers. So this is an AFL media accreditation issue. That's the tape. That's the tape right now that is restricting like whether or not we're able to get to press conferences. That is it right there. With AFL media accreditation, now then that raises another question. Do I really want media accreditation? Like, so I can go and ask one question? I don't know. I mean, it would give access to post-game presses, but again, I mean, from my perspective, you know, the fan cams happens after the game, so I enjoy doing that rather than going to the presser. But yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next few months and the next few years, you know, how it all plays out. If I could have a one-on-one with Voss, no recording, would I take it? 100%. Yeah, of course. I'm always down for a conversation. Frankie, greetings from Surfers Paradise. Love the show. Have I missed anything in team selection? No, you haven't. Team selection is in 40 minutes, 6:20. So there you go. CFC, anyone watched BKS review? Loved his point of view. He's a legend. Yeah, he's a good man. I haven't seen his review yet. Only Carlton, why are you not in caps lock? You must be, I know you're serious when you're not in caps lock. He gives nothing answers, but half the time he does get asked nothing questions. See, this would be an interesting question to ask. Are we picking Dirksen over Youngie? So yeah, I guess that'd be a good question. If you were at the press conference this week, what would you ask? If you had one question as a fan, what would you ask? And you had to go there and you had to conduct yourself with respect. What would you ask and how would you word it? I'll get some of yours up on screen. Buckspell. Here is my view of last week. Debbie, he can't get up there and bang on about how much the fans mean to them and then treat the fans with contempt with his garbage and con answers. Yeah, but Deb, he's not trying to give these platforms, these mainstream media platforms, what they want. Yeah, that's right. It is the AFL. It's the AFL that it's the AFL that tick off on it. The clubs don't give out accreditation. The clubs must let everyone with media accreditation know when a press conference is. They do like a release. Whenever there's any sort of news, there's an email list. They must let people who have AFL media accreditation know that there's a press conference being held at whatever, Icon Park at 10 a.m. on this date. I'd love Andy from the Monday Blues with media accreditation. So would I. Fermi, he's burned a shout for this week. Could be. My opinion, I went and watched him last week, the VFL. I think hold off on Burn until after the bye. Let him have a few games and then bring him in. That's just my opinion. But I know that he's a popular choice. I don't have anything against Taylor Burn. I love what I see. I just think it's a not yet. CFC Baggers, what's the new 5-year plan? Well, that's an interesting one. That was actually asked at the AGM. And they said that they wouldn't be revising the current 5-year plan because I believe the current 5-year plan ends next year. So I think they'll be rolling out another one at some point. Donnie, 0-2. Oh, shit. Beef Frandon. So this is a question that you would have asked. Who do the players look to when things aren't going our way? Hunterer, you would ask the coach, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Zonked Steel, who's the closest player to debut? That's a great question. That's a great question. Christian, what was the plan going in to stop players like Heaney and Warner, and why was it ineffective? That is also a great question. Damien, hi, Michael. Just wondering if a team gets a 4-5 goal run on you in the space of a few minutes, what changes would you make to stop it? Gavin, is my son Taylor a chance to play? Sebastian, you would ask, are you trying to give us all heart attacks? Only Carlton. I would ask how Jesse Motlop is tracking. Yeah, fair. Scott Pennebury once said this about presses. It says, Josh, I don't get why people care what we have to say. We aren't going to tell you the truth because we will be hung out to dry. So we play the straight bat and give boring answers and you all complain. I mean, it's got a point. That's actually a really good point. We aren't going to tell you the truth because we will be hung out to dry. So we play the straight bat and give boring answers and you all complain. That is brilliant. Ed, you would ask, how on earth do you lose intensity in the third quarter of the season, 5 years into your contract, and why won't you ever play the Camporellis? Ed, have you seen the Camporellis play? Is what I would ask you back. Hello, Hyde. Explain exactly what went wrong in the third, what moves were made, and what did you believe worked or didn't work, and did the players stick to his plan or did they waver? Dion, you would ask, will you be paying Pito $2 million per year after the Ruckman market has been reset? Yeah. Vince, team selection and what drugs did they have? I would like some. Yep, very good. CFC, you would ask, are you confident that the list changes made and change of game style will eradicate the second half issues you faced last season, or is it a fitness problem? You know what? That's a good question, and it's a bit of a segue. I've got a lot more questions here, but I do want to segue into something else because this is something that was recently shown, and for those of you who aren't subscribed to the Ball Magnets YouTube channel, a must. An absolute must. They are doing over there, they're doing a new series called, it's called the Titch and Guinea Show. So Tom Mitchell and Jack Ginnivan, and it's their weekly show. It was their third episode. And they actually broke down the difference between Carlton's game plan in 2025 and 2026. I'm going to play a little bit of it here, and then I'm going to put the link in the live chat. I think this is a must for all of us, really. I think this is an absolute must. I'm always interested to learn about the game, especially from the guys that know how to talk about it. But basically, they had this to say. So I'm going to play a couple of minutes, and you'll see basically what they've done here is they're talking about the difference between Carlton's game plan in 2025 and how teams would scout Carlton, and then the changes that they are seeing that they're making for 2026. So check this out. You can see here the gold is Hawthorn and the black is Carlton. And you can see here Carlton 2025.
Open side of the field, every opponent owns the outside. So you're owning the whole outer ring. So when the ball does spill, Carlton very good at contests in 25 again. They'd win these contests and the ball would get out. But then this player's on the outside, this player's on the outside, this player's on the outside. This player, if they want to go skinny, is on the outside, he's on the outside. So again, it goes down to, again, Basically, letting them win on the inside and beating them on the outside.
So I'm going to just fast forward here when they go to 2026, because this stuff's been repeated ad nauseum. All right.
They looked like they were.
So
Blakey or Roberts, or these sort of guys to, yeah, it's a little bit of a risk, but it can work the other way as well. You can kick a few goals out
of as he might be winning a few players for the.
Sorry, one sec. Let me just find this spot here.
Outside, everyone's pushing their guy in, and it might be effect of that. In Carlton's game plan shift from 2025 to 2026 is the following. So they're trying to make the ground really big. This is through width of the defenders, making the ground really wide. Still having a few players for the long down the line contests if the ball's here and they do want to go here. But they've also now got forwards that are 2 kicks away, and we call these disconnected forwards, Gin. And this is something that Hawthorn do. Jack Gunston normally does this with himself, as he might be one disconnected forward, but it seemed as though Carlton from D50 and kick-outs and long down the line plays had these forwards pull back. And the reason teams do that essentially is to open the ground up to make offence easier through the middle.
Yeah, at Hawks, we usually have Gunners who usually sits in the goal scope. We haven't tried the 3, but sometimes Gunners or Weirs, or we sort of mix it up a little bit. But Gunston's obviously been a magician at it for a while now. But yeah, these disconnected forwards can work sometimes, but they can also burn you as well. If you're not sharp as a disconnected forward, it can allow potentially Blakey or Roberts, or these sort of guys to run and bounce where Tommy's showing here if you're not sharp. So it's it's a little bit of a risk, but it can work the other way as well. You can kick a few goals out of it as well.
So what I think is happening is that Carlton, it looked really good. They look really dynamic. They've clearly recruited for more transition. Florent, Hayward, Ainsworth, Jagger Smith's there, Sam Walsh is fit. They looked like they were playing faster and they had the space to work in. But what happens if you turn the ball over or you aren't skilled enough, which I don't think Carlton are yet, but they're sticking with their game plan, is if the ball turns over and you leave these pockets of space for Errol Goulden, Chad Warner, Isaac Heaney to work in, you're essentially defending the ground. Let's just say there's 6 forwards up here. Therefore, you're defending, say, half a ground. There's 6 forwards out, half a ground. You're defending this part of the ground with, say, 12 players roughly. So defending a ground without your full 18 players makes it really hard to defend, Gian.
So interesting there. I'm going to link you this video if you want to watch the full thing. The Carlton stuff is spoken about towards the end, 20-ish minute mark. Just something basic stuff, but I think the basics are good to know. And the things that they're noticing. I mean, from what Tom Mitchell's saying, they're going to be focusing on Carlton quite a bit this year, because he's of the belief that he thinks Carlton are going in the right direction, and he actually sees them being able to score a lot better than what they did last year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Watching this analysis really shows how far off we, the average punter, are from understanding the game. Yeah. All right. I'm going to play a little bit of the Richmond presser. Also, just out of curiosity, I haven't watched any of it, out of curiosity, just to see, I like doing this, to see how questions are asked and how coaches respond just around the league, because I think we can get caught in the Carlton echo chamber. So let's see the Richmond one.
Adam, you back? How are you feeling about it? Oh, well, it's hard not to get excited for round 1. We've been waiting for this for a fair bit. Our boys have got a lot of training in them. Obviously, pre-season games are pre-season games for a reason, and now we can't wait. Obviously, watching them play an opening round last week, you get a little bit jealous around watching AFL footy when you don't get an opportunity to get out there, so we can't wait to get out there in front of our fans and hopefully put on a good show. Oh, well, not really. I think they'll see. I think our media team have put that out there. Obviously, the highlights around that, it was an amazing game.
I think the question was around, do you refer to what happened last year?
But we're 41 points down. So we've got to be really mindful that we didn't start the game the right way. And the way we reviewed that game was the fact that we probably shouldn't have won it based on numbers. So there's some excitement around it. We understand that if we do play our best footy, we're a show. So that's all we'll be thinking about, the process and not the result of last year.
Just on playing a team that's played a game.
that's really interesting to hear another coach talk about process, not outcome.
Do you have any thoughts on that on the advantage?
Well, it depends. If you, I think they'll be saying they'd rather Adam Saab be playing this week. So there's obviously some risk around that, and but when you think about game time, I think most teams right now, we've got an amazing fitness staff that our boys are cherry ripe and ready to go. So we had a plan, knowing that we weren't part of opening round, that we had 2 practice games and an intra-club game. So our whole process is around minutes. We've got a lot of minutes in our players. We've got the right amount of minutes that we needed. And that's the reason why Nick Voss's not playing this weekend. He just hasn't got that volume of game time leading into round 1. It would be too high risk. So, yeah, we think we're prepared. Whether they're more prepared because they've played a game, who knows?
Interesting to see here, something I've noticed straight away. So you see a Richmond media microphone, which, you saw a Carlton media one. You can see a Channel 10 microphone, and then, a generic one. I don't know what that one is, but no Channel 7, no Channel 9, no Fox Footy. Interesting.
Speaking of minutes, you only got half a rugby game up in Ballarat. Does that affect anything?
Oh, we got a bit over half, and then we trained out on the field, so we got some volume into them. Like I said, that game, there was probably a few of our boys that would have gone out at 3/4 time anyway. So that was all part of it. Like, that wasn't... I'd be more worried if that were 7 days away from playing. We had another week of training, another intra-club game. So yeah, that was fine. It was pretty interesting training on the field with the other team on one half of the ground, but no, our boys got through that, no worries, and we don't think that's going to be an issue.
Adam, what did you make of the third quarter Blues Sydney, and how did the Blues let themselves down, do you think?
Oh, well, we don't. We look at it.
That's a really interesting question. He's asking straight about us in the third quarter. They asked Adam Uze about what happened in the third quarter, but they didn't ask Michael Voss. Make that make sense.
Look at all of that. We look at the reasons why they were in front at the start and owning the game and looking like they should have been further in front. And then you look at the opportunities, whether it was centre bounce, whether it was stoppage, whether it was offence. You look at all those. Obviously, whenever you're looking at an opposition, you're looking at the threats as well as the opportunities. So there's 2 parts to it. You're looking at the first half of what could be a threat and the second half of our opportunity. So yeah, we've got to be at our best to obviously exploit that.
Is there something though in that third quarter that you saw that you can exploit this weekend?
Oh, there's little things that you would look at and take some confidence in, but you've got to go and execute it. Like we play a little bit different than Sydney, but like I said, you look at the opportunities, but we'll be just worried about the way that we play, and we're not going to take too much out of that game.
Just the 1 week for Nick. Do you feel confident he'll be back for round 2?
Yeah, it's just a volume thing right now, so it would just be too high risk. He just hasn't done enough. So he's putting on obviously a fair bit of... He's had his ankle and he had a bit of a grumbly back, so he's too important to us to go and risk him round 1. We expect him to have a big season, not just the big round 1. So yeah, he'll get a really good block of training in now. So obviously he'll have another 3 sessions before our next game, and he'll be available for round 2, which is cool.
Sam Grill and Pat Retco out there today. Are they in chance for a debut?
No, well, it's really exciting. Like, Sam Grill's going to debut for our footy club. Told him today, a little bit mindful of telling him too early in the week. He's such an energetic kid. He would have played the game in his head about 20 times, I reckon, if I'd told him yesterday. So really exciting for our boys to hear that this morning. Good for his family, great for his family to come along, and I think they were Carlton supporters growing up, so quite ironic. But no, he's deserved his opportunity. We're not going to gift games to our younger players. He really deserves it. So he gives us something different, and he's earned the respect of his teammates in the minute he's walked into our footy club, and we can't wait to see what he can do on the G.
What is he going to bring? What can fans expect from Sam Grill?
Well, I think he'll bring a really competitive attitude. Like his will to win is next level. He swears at the umpires out here, which half the time they're coaches. So he does get really animated because he wants to win. And with that, he wants the ball in his hands, and he wants to defend really hard, and that's all we can ask as a half back. Like, he's got some high talent and high speed when he on offence, but at the same time he's fight to death, and the way that he defends is the reason why he's in the team. So, or the reason why he's got in so early. So we can't wait for him to bring that on and get to show that on the G.
Bit of chat around Sam Lower and Carlton's Jaden Smith playing against each other for the first time. 2 really highly rated kids. I guess, where do you see Sam at this point in his career, clearly after some injuries late last year?
Yeah, well, firstly, it's really exciting for Jagger. Like, I've known Jagger for a little while, and you obviously hate seeing young kids get injured. We've got a few right now that are on the sidelines that would love to be out there. It would have been nice for Tash Houghton to be leaning on Jagger this weekend. But yeah, so you obviously feel for them when they're not playing, but then when you get the chance to see them against each other, it's going to be really exciting for both clubs. So both highly talented. Seeing them play on each other in a centre bounce, it'll be nice to see Sammy on Paddy Cripps as well. So yeah, it's obviously exciting for both clubs. But yeah, he's obviously going to be a threat that we've got to worry about.
Just on the Blues, obviously this is what I'm talking about. They played one game, absolutely, some exaggeration. But
I can't hear the question either.
Talk to your players about that response. It's probably
I think the question is around Carlton's response given what happened last week.
When you think about the psychology of the game, you're constantly reminding your players around that. You can't get drawn into reading too much about that. If a team's under pressure, you know that they're going to be coming out firing anyway, but they're going to come out firing no matter what because they've just lost the game. We've got to worry about the way that we start the game and the way that we play. So there's a small element of that. There'll be obviously some noise around them, but there's noise around them because they've played a game and we haven't. So yeah, we understand. We reviewed the Melbourne game really clearly. We understood that we weren't good enough in the first quarter. We'll be going out to go and rectify those things in our game rather than worrying about who we're playing. We just worry about how we play.
Sam Cummins was out there on the track, no shoulder strapping. How's he tracking?
Yeah, he took a couple of marks today. I would have liked to have seen him on the G soon. So no, he's tracking really nicely. So we've got a plan around that month to really strengthen it up, and then we'll make a decision after that. We'll never put him at risk. He's too important for us, but at the same time, if we feel like there's an opportunity that we can get some footy into him this year, our medical team will make a really measured decision, a really smart decision around him. But it's exciting to see him running around and pain-free, and he was pretty early pain-free, so after he did it, so that was the only reason why we're going down this path. So to see him running around, I reckon he'll be a bit jealous on Thursday night for sure, but hopefully we can see him during the year.
Just back to Sam Lawler, where does he play his best football, or have you not?
Out on the ground, really. Well, he's going to obviously. He's had a full pre-season, which he didn't have last year. So obviously it'd be nice to have two of them if we could have one inside, but he'll get some midfield exposure. Last year was more centre bounce, but now he can go and play one rotation as a midfielder and go and run around and play as a pure mid. We obviously need him down forward and we want to see him forward, so there'll be a blend of that. Last year it might have been an 80-20 split maybe. This year it might be a 60-40 split, so which is really exciting for our footy club. We know that what he's doing at training is one thing, but AFL minutes as a midfielder is a lot tougher. So we'll manage him through that, but yeah, you'll see some midfield exposure as well as obviously his talent, hopefully up the front end.
Noah Bolter, are you right to go? And I guess how well placed is he, having had such a disruptive year last year?
Yeah, well, he's in a really good spot up until he had a hiccup with his hammy. He hadn't missed any sessions, so yeah, he's ready to play and he's going to play. So yeah, he's obviously had just a slight hammy that he looked after, and we managed him through that, and our medical team did that really well. He was almost ready to play last week, so he played our intra-club game and got some minutes in that, and yeah, he's going to be really important for us down back. So yeah, seeing him play with Ben Miller and Josh Gibcus together will be really important and really exciting for our footy club.
There's a couple of reports out this morning which say that the AFL's illicit drugs policy will be revised. Main change
suits everyone, and
is it a good thing that it's moving away from the strikes and is
on our hands and not doing anything about it? So once that's going to be exactly the same. We expect to play a brand of footy that is going to be. We won the first game, review every game. No, our expectation.
This season, does that go up at another level in terms of your mindset, your expectation, or is it still some patience?
No, our expectation is to play well and try to win every week and be really honest with the way that we review every game. So our expectation wasn't low last year. Like I said, we won the first game and we reviewed the game like we'd lost it. So that's going to be exactly the same. We expect to play a brand of footy that is going to be sustainable and play finals footy, whether it's this year, next year, the year after. We need to play that way. There'll be games that we might not be able to last as long and we might not be competitive for all 4 quarters, but the process needs to be the same. We expect to play a certain way every quarter and be really consistent. So hopefully this weekend we can do that for long enough and hopefully obviously come away for a win.
We've seen Sydney and Collingwood do different things with the 5th bench though. Will you guys be looking to do anything different, or is it just 5 on the run?
Yeah, well, I think a lot we'll do it differently. Some have used a sub, some have obviously used with the second ruck, but there will be someone that has lower game time. So we'll make that decision. I think that might vary each week. Whether it is a second ruck and that guy plays lower game time, we'll probably start that way to help Nank out. But after that, it will be, let's just see how we're going and where the comp's really going. It's an unknown, and we'll just get a feel for that in the first month of footy.
Just every sort of marquee game, there's always a discussion, say, do Carlton and Richmond deserve this season opener? Do you think there's anything you guys or Carlton have to prove to show that this is a game you should hang on to?
Well, unless we can average over 100,000, because I think we average over 80. It's a fair start to the season, and I get a sense whenever I talk to our players around this, it's such an important game and such an exciting game for both clubs. I reckon the players that are getting told this weekend at Carlton, if they miss out on this game, it stings a little bit. And I felt like even talking to players that are missing out today, like with a round one game against Carlton is one that you really want to play. So there's that, obviously the mindset around that for players, but for our club and for their club and for the comp, to average over 80,000 crowd every year for however many years we've done that, I think it speaks for itself.
I'm pretty impressed with him. I've never watched a presser of his at length. Granted, they are definitely in a different realm when it comes to external expectation, but I thought the way he answered the question around what do you expect from your team, I thought the way he answered that was really interesting. I don't know if there's any Richmond supporters watching. I'm impressed with him. Also, that was a really interesting insight. We just had the comment, the quote from Scott Pendlebury around what he thinks about press conferences and how, I don't know why you complain because we're not going to tell you the truth. Adam Uze basically just said they're going to play a backup ruck to support Nank. They're going to try that first up. Did he not? Did I mishear that? Interesting. So what did you think? What comes to mind for you when you watch that press conference? Also can't believe they asked the coach of Richmond what went wrong in the third quarter for Carlton, and they didn't ask the Carlton coach what went wrong in the third quarter. It's unbelievable. Don't they have lost an out? If Mackay doesn't have 5+ marks, the game's gone. Yeah. Where's Walter Edwards? So Walter Edwards has a different name. Forgot what it was. I actually spoke to Walter last year. We're on good terms now. Yeah. Tatum, the only thing you're nervous about is the second half issues. Dione, tuning in from Thailand. Gee, aren't the media different with Uze? Vultures, given the amount of microphones in front of Vossi. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Glenn. You're a Richmond guy. What's your thoughts on your coach? And also, do you see it differently in the sense of expectations? And Carlton have come off this 3 to 5 year period where they were building towards what was supposed to be a premiership window, and now it is not a premiership window anymore. Maybe on the outside, I don't know. Do you think that has something to do with these narratives? Speaks very well. It's pretty good considering he was out on the road doing it. Greg, it's always very clear. James, we get more information from him than our own coach. Well, he nailed our issue in Sydney game. We should have been further ahead at halftime based on how we were playing. There you go. Johnny Holden in the chat live for the team show. Hello, mate. Wow, Jones icon. A presser without corporate speak. Yeah. Yeah, they're in good shape, Richmond. Here, next time I see you, I'm just going to yell all my words. Mate, please do. Caps everything. How's that? You're a Tiger fan. Listen, you are right. He is good, Uze, in press conferences, but also a great coach in the making. Dione, I think Vossi has better things to do than read what Carlton supporters are saying. I hope he does not read what Carlton supporters say. Super Coach Dog, if I've contacted Carlton to have a convo with Voss, and if yes, and if been able to do it, doesn't make you wonder why a club like Richmond gets Uze and draft a guy on with Tiger Cast. Yeah, I think Richmond, I think it's an easier situation for Richmond because they've made it very clear they're on this journey, that, if you want to call it rebuilding, quote unquote. So there isn't as much heat on Richmond. They've also come off an era where they won a few premierships. So it's a different situation. I don't think you can compare the two. Would love to be able to go down to the club more, have more conversations, where it works. But at the end of the day, it's not my choice. It's not my decision. And I'm not going to cry about what I don't get because I'm not entitled to anything. And I'll just continue to talk about it. And I mean, I enjoy doing this with the fans. I mean, it would be good to be able to ask certain questions more of the time, a little bit more than what we get now. I think also when you hear 5 of the first 7 questions around Sam Doherty being at a function or not, as opposed to what happened in the third quarter, I think there's room for an opportunity there. Anyway, Rocco, it took you about 5 years to pronounce Uze's name properly back in the 90s. Yep. Lana, rocking the hair. Mum's loving the new look. Yeah, she definitely is. She definitely is. All right, we have got 13 minutes to go. You know what we'll do? I wanted to bring up this. I wanted to talk about, because just to make sure we're all on the same page, have you guys seen the latest on the AFL's bidding system and the changes that they are making? We flagged it a bit. Pommy flagged this a bit towards the back end of last year around what teams will be able to pay and how we basically have had a system right now where Brisbane win the premiership. Not only do they nail it with the free agents that they were able to secure, they also get, who was it? Annabelle into the club. They won a premiership year before. They got Levi Ashcroft into the club. And so basically, I think that's going to become a little bit harder for teams to do it. Gold Coast play finals and get 2 of their academy kids through the door last year. So the father-son academy system will see a bid matching tax levied on top 4 sides. As the league this is from SEN, as the league finalizes new draft rules to provide more poor performing teams with more top tier teenagers, it can be revealed now that the top 4 clubs on that year's ladder will face a loading fee when it comes to matching bids. Sources said the top 4 tax could be as high as 30%. So just remember, every pick is assigned a number of points, and you basically pay with a pick, but the pick is represented by points. And a lot of this is not relevant to Carlton because we're not going to be a top 4 team. While it's been speculated the exact amount of points a club has to hand over under the draft value index will be tied to ladder position, it's understood the top 4 is where the only line will be drawn. Such a scenario would mean a club like Brisbane, for example, would have had to pay significantly more than Melbourne, for example, to acquire their academy prospect Dan Annabelle. Adding to the difficulty for all clubs, however, is the fact that they will only be allowed 2 picks to meet the points requirement instead of the glut of back-end picks some clubs have amassed in the past. It means Carlton and Port Adelaide will most certainly have to pay a record price for highly rated father-son Cody Walker and next generation academy talent Dougie Cochrane, respectively. The changes are being made with the mind to better compensate the lower teams, protect the integrity of the draft, and to make it harder for the best teams to keep topping up with the best players via father-son and academy streams. There is a concern among some clubs that the top 4 tax could slow the trade period in some circumstances. While the northern clubs have long argued they will be reluctant to invest time and money in local academy players if they're less chance of drafting them. The risk of that scenario, they argue, is kids who would go on to play AFL instead of choose rugby league or another sport competing for their future, hurting the growth of the game. So long story short, still getting Cody Walker. We've already I think we've already planned for that by securing the second first-round pick. So as a part of the Kerno trade, we're going to have our own first-round pick from wherever we finish, and we're going to get another first-round pick depending on where Sydney finish this year. And then I reckon the year after that, no, sorry, I think it's a Brisbane second-round pick. Never mind. Anyway, the bottom line is Cody Walker's still going to go to Carlton, and we are going to be able to use, or have to use, depending on where we finish, up to 2 picks to get him. What the fuck? We are the lower teams? Yeah. 2 first-rounders for Cody. No more first-rounders for Butters Humphrey. That's the end of that. So I think with whatever our first-round pick is, if we're forced to use the next first-round pick, if there's a, if it's left over, that pick can just get bumped down to a lower pick. So just keep that in mind. We'll obviously be covering that a lot more in depth at the end of the year. So, but I just wanted to make sure that we're all across that. Really, it doesn't really apply to us too much because the tax that they've spoken about there is for, it's for the top 4 teams. Okay. We've got 8 minutes. The Rambo. Trade the farm for Walker, Butters, and Humphrey. I don't know if you saw today, but Cal Toomey from Gettable confirmed that Carlton had tabled an offer reportedly for Bailey Humphrey at the back end of last year. 5-year deal, $1 million per year. So LS, Cody Walker comes and we're going to win the flag like 2030. LS, the AFL so poorly run, it's embarrassing. Why not bring this into effect in 3 years so clubs can actually plan ahead for it? Bush League decision makers. Yeah, I don't understand why we get to mid-year and they're still talking about it. Like, it's a very reactionary industry, but also with something like the draft, you would think that they would plan ahead for this. I'm just glad we're not going to get affected by this because we've already planned as if these changes are going to be made anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if Carlton has already contacted the AFL and said, hey, this is what's happening. Cody Walker's coming. Let us know. Are we going to need a second first-round pick to get him or not? Interesting. But I totally agree. Why don't we know what the deal is going to be before the season begins? It's, AFL things. Butters was never coming here. Get serious. Yeah, he's he's not coming to Carlton. It's not happening. Frankie, are they still making the changes for this year? Surely they can't change the rules when clubs have planned for a totally different set of rules. They can, and they are, unfortunately. Mick, trade Williams at least. Well, Williams is out of contract at the end of this year, so you can't trade him. He's a free agent. There is no trade that can be done there. St Kilda whinges and the AFL overhauls father-son. Speaking of St Kilda, I got a few messages from some of you saying that you found yourselves barracking for Collingwood on Sunday night. And I'm curious, was anybody else doing that? Like, were you really barracking for Collingwood to win? Like, did you prefer to see St Kilda lose than Collingwood lose on Sunday? I'm not going to say I disagree. LS, you can confirm on the last day of trade week, Bailey Humphrey genuinely thought he was coming here. Wow. Damien, you just put on Channel 7, hopefully have team news shortly. Yep, I will be ready. I will be ready. And then as soon as the teams are announced, we're going to start doing some giveaways. I've got tickets to give away, 2 reserved seats in the Legend Lounge area. So that is that. I'll also be doing a giveaway for the book. Let me just show you the book. Wilkes Books. Let's have a look. Let me share my screen. So we spoke with Miles on Monday. Miles is the creator of this book. It's called Champions of Carlton. And it's basically got, there we go. Champions of Carlton has been endorsed by these two Carlton legends. If you want further information, basically he's got a number of unseen photos in this book, all the champions of Carlton, premiership players and the like. He has graciously donated 2 books to me. I'm going to give one away tonight, and I'm going to give one away next week. So this will be one of the giveaways. And then the second giveaway, if you haven't been watching, is the signed Guernsey. Signed Guernsey 2008. Got the Mars sponsorship there. Signed by the number 1 draft picks, Murphy, Gibbs, Cruiser, together with signed team select cards. Okay. The Cruiser one's in like a protective pack. The other ones are not, but I can put them in a protective pack for you. So I will be spinning the wheel and giving that away to enter this giveaway, and to be automatically entered into every single giveaway. You need to be a member of Blue Abroad. So the link to that is pinned to the live chat. There's a monthly option if you prefer. There's an annual option as well. I just actually saw, I think somebody just entered as well. I'm going to make sure your name is in there. So CFC ahead, I saw that you signed up. Claudio, I'm going to put your name in this list now. Claudio, thank you very much for being a member. And then also there's one more. Hang on. I saw it. Where is it? Victor. Gabriel as well. Awesome. Thank you for being a member. Thank you very much. I will send out your key rings, your BA key rings, and they'll be in the mail. And yeah, thank you very much for the support. So we've got 3 minutes to go. Teams will come out. Then we're going to unpack the teams. Oh, wait, what? Channel 7, Cowan, Carroll, O'Keefe in, as in they've told you? Teams in 2 minutes? Well, the mail was, those were the 3 that were in. And the mail was, yeah, Cowan, Carroll, O'Keefe, and then Moya, Sard, and Reedy out. That was the mail. So it looks like that's going to be what happened. But nonetheless, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go. Teams will come out. I'll share my screen and we will go for it there. But thank you very much to those of you who are letting us know what the teams are. Damien, mate. Yeah, Clive, we're going to spin that wheel. It's exciting. Aaron Rule in, Cowan, Carroll, O'Keefe. Carroll, Sardmoyer, Reedy. Yeah, that's what we think. That's what we're thinking. Okay, is this what's been said on Channel 7? Looks like that's it. Yeah, the mail was spot on. How does McGovern keep his spot? McGovern's going to be playing forward tomorrow night, apparently. So that's an interesting one there. If Carlton win, will you go find Jake at the game? No. If Carlton win, when Carlton win tomorrow, I'm going to get straight out of the MCG. I'm going to listen to one rendition of the song, maybe 2. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to get on the train. I'm going to come home and we're going to do the fan cams. And we're going to enjoy ourselves tomorrow night. That's what's going to happen. That's how tomorrow night plays out. So, Paddy, Channel 7 News usually have the Thursday game teams from 6:15 on a Wednesday night and the rest of the round team highlights from 6:15 Thursday. Okay, thank you very much. That's good to know. Teams are out. We know what they are. You guys are onto it. All right, stand by. Share my screen. We're going to unpack this together. If anybody would like to come in, click here to join and share your thoughts on the team. Click that link there. I'm using a new streaming service So I also kind of want to test and make sure that it works for tomorrow for the fan cams. But anyway, Trio returns to take on Richmond. Carlton has named its team of 23. Looking to bounce back from a disappointing second half against Sydney. The Blues have confirmed 3 changes. Lockie Cowan, Matt Carroll are available. They're playing their first games of the season. Both players got through their VFL returns and will provide the Blues with some bounce coming off half-back. Cowan returns to the scene of his debut. Carroll's last game was against Essendon in round 24, where he was awarded a Telstra Rising Star nomination. Hudson O'Keefe recalled. He broke through for 5 games last season, will provide the Blues with both ruck relief and a tall target up the front half of the ground. Adam Sard will miss with an injury, while Moya and Reedy have been omitted. There's the team. All right. Let me know what you think. There it is right there. All right, I've got a Dirks over Young, says Nick DeFleece. So Cowan, Wiedering, and Dean in the back line there. McGovern named on half-back. Interesting. Maybe a few games being played there. Lewis Young, Ollie Florent. Chesser, Cripps, Hollins. From memory, Will Hayward was named on the wing last week. So Hayward, Mackay, Ainsworth, half-forward. Full forward, Jagger Smith back in the pocket on the team list. Brody Kemp, Lockie Fogarty, Pitternet, Hewitt, Walsh. Followers with Zach Williams, Cooper Lord, Elijah Hollins, Matt Carroll, and Hudson O'Keefe on the interchange bench. Interesting with the emergency. So Taylor Byrne, Jordan Boyd, and Ashton Moyer. So I believe the VFL are doing a practice match on tomorrow as well. I reckon it's at 1 o'clock tomorrow at Icon Park. And it'll be interesting to see how many of these emergencies line up and play, or if they'll be held out just in case there's a late change tomorrow. But I mean, it'd be weird if Moya is omitted and doesn't play tomorrow. Like if Taylor Byrne's not being named, I think it's more important for him to play tomorrow to give himself a chance to be named. Although next week is a bye. So anyway, it's neither here or there. Petra, you would have kept Moya ahead of Gov, even though they play at different ends of the ground. Where am I sitting tomorrow? I get to meet you one day. Mate, you could meet me tomorrow. I'm sitting on the wing tomorrow, level 2, somewhere there. Johnny Holden, the only good thing if Gov plays forward, it's okay. If he lets goals through. Yeah, that would help. You can let as many goals through as possible. Hello, Abs. Good to see you, mate. Let me show you guys the teams. See Richmond's team as well. Share this tab. Have a look. There we go. Oh, that actually fits perfectly. I love it. So for Richmond, they've brought in, well, I mean, this is their first, they haven't brought in anyone because this is their first team of the year. There you go. That's how the teams are being named, being labeled. All right. Wait, can you see me here? Replace, hide. Hang on. Andrew Cards, keen to watch the Hawk? Yes, indeed. Glad Carroll is back in. Free burn. I'm going to go down and watch him tomorrow. Got to go down to Icon Park. Give him a watch. Is Bolter allowed to play yet? Or is he still belting blokes over pizza? I reckon he's playing. Noah Bolter. Is he... Wait, is he named? Yeah, he's named. He's named at full back in the back pocket. Frank Chera. How does Fogarty get a game? He consistently gives us nothing. They should have brought in either Byrne or Flynn. And Boydie continues to miss out. If there's one thing we need, it's an elite kick. Young on Rioli is a joke. I doubt that's going to be the matchup, Paul. Lynch, 3 or 4 goals from free kicks. Loves a free kick. Loves a free kick goal against Carlton in round 1 when he hasn't started well, hasn't got a kick in the first quarter, and they give him one. Carroll and Cow, good ins. Glad Harry has some help now. Paul Black, if we lose, which is possible, I hope Voss goes. Paul, what happens if we win? What happens if we win tomorrow? Wait, can I get a pulse check? Stand by. I just want to see where we're at. I want to see where we're at with tomorrow's game. Put a poll. Who wins? Carlton, Richmond. I've just put a poll up in the live chat. I want to see where you're all at right now. Just want to get a sense. Listen, this time it's different. This time I'm not going in saying we're a top 4 team, and if we're the real deal, then we beat this team by 10 goals. But I have an expectation to win this game. Like, surely, right? Surely. I'm not saying Richmond can't win the game, because they definitely can. But I would just like to think that even though we've had the changes that we've had, we would still be... Okay, so 82, 83% of you are saying Carlton, 17% Richmond. Okay. John, why are our supporters happy to lose just so Voss gets sacked? I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, believe there are some out there that would prefer to just be right, because then they can say, I told you. And see us lose tomorrow. I think subconsciously it's there. Also, what happened to trusting Graham Wright? I thought he knows what he's doing. Z-Lith, you're a neutral supporter. Carlton wins. Rocco, you expect to win the lotto as well. Okay. Love how supporters slag off players and coaches. Yeah, it's great. Because you know what? Tomorrow, like, if and when we win tomorrow, it's going to be like, why are you celebrating? Don't be happy. But I don't care. I want to enjoy the football tomorrow. I don't give a shit what anyone says about it. And I think we should... Anybody who wants to enjoy the football tomorrow should be allowed to go to the football tomorrow and enjoy it the way that they want to enjoy it. Not be told that they have to think a certain way. So whatever. I just think it's a one game at a time proposition. Okay. 80%, 20%. Carlton, Richmond. Okay. All right. It's time to give away some things. 11th of March. All right. All right. Final call for members. Going to add some of your names to this list as well. It's time to give away some prizes, man. Let's do it. We're going to start with the Guernsey and the cards. All right. Claudio, let me just make sure your name is in here properly, my friend. Claudio. Got Kel. I saw you, and Gabriel. All right. It's been a while. It's been a minute. Okay. Let me share my screen. So, again, the first item that we are doing right now, spin on that thing. I've got to upload my sounds. I haven't got my sound effects uploaded yet. I've got to fix it, and I will. But we are going to spin on that thing. So the first member giveaway 2026 signed 2008 Guernsey by our #1 draft picks, together with 3 team select cards signed by the 3 boys as well. So there's your first prize. And I'm excited to give it away to our first winner. Let's have a look. Let me share my screen. Let me just customize. Oh, that could work. That's actually not too bad. Although, kind of like that. Let's have a look. What about this? Oh, yeah? This could work. Nah, I think this is a winner. Actually, you know what? Yeah, this will do. This will do for now. All right. All right. Good luck, everybody. The winner of the Guernsey and the cards. So the phone call is going to go not to the... Oh, we could make a phone call. We could. I want to do the phone call to the people who win the tickets, or the person that wins the tickets. So I'm going to do this one, and it doesn't matter if they pick up the phone or not. I'm going to send it to them. Then the next giveaway will be the book, and then the following one will be an open giveaway to anybody who's watching this show for 2 reserve tickets, level 2 Olympic stand tomorrow. I'll tell you how you can enter that. And that one, I will be doing a phone call, which is just a fucking train wreck. All right, let's go. The person who wins is the winner of our first Blue Abroad members giveaway for 2026 is... Wow. Hannah Vassos. Congratulations. Kind of want to call him. You know what? I'm going to do it. Pana. I'm going to do it. Come on. Come on.
Hello?
Hello, Pana.
Hey, Terry.
Mate, how are you?
Good, yourself?
I'm good. I am currently live on stream, and
Yeah.
just want to let you know that you are the winner of the very first giveaway of 2026.
Oh, well, thank you.
My pleasure. I've got the signed 2008 Guernsey by Murphy, Gibbs, and Cruiser, and
Yeah.
I've got the team select cards signed by all 3 of them individually as well.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah. So there
Very
you go, my
exciting.
friend.
Thank you.
What are your...
Thank you.
No, my pleasure. What are your thoughts on
just having
tomorrow?
Dinner. I'm actually watching you, but in delay because I've missed the start. So I rewinded the stream. So I haven't caught up with the live section.
All right.
Of it.
Well, you'll see yourself pop up soon.
I probably will.
What are your thoughts tomorrow?
Oh, we just better win. That's all.
Yeah.
A win. Play better, but win.
Yeah.
do whatever we can to win.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, what about yourself?
I think we'll be all right. I think we'll win. Yeah. I mean, I obviously said that last year, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We all did.
Just respond, just get better, and just sort it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not going to be top 4, top 6, probably not even top 10, but I think top 10 is the aim, but just win more games. That's all.
Yeah, that's well said. Are you going to the game tomorrow?
No. I'll be that late, so not going. So.
All right. Well, mate, thank you very much once again. I will have your prize in the mail tomorrow morning, and it should arrive next week.
Thank you. That's excellent.
All
Thanks,
right.
Terry.
Thanks, Pana.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Fantastic. All right, there's one. There is one. Let's do another one. So let me just make sure Pana's name doesn't get... I mean, he technically could win again. like in theory, he could win again. There. All right. Are we ready to go again? Now, wait, before I do that. So the next prize, random prize, but you know what? This will be good for, it's like a good coffee table book. So Miles Wilkes, who came up on the show on Monday night, has created this book, Champions of Carlton. He's got all of them there. He's got a whole bio on a number of Carlton players from the very beginning of time. And he's put it together. The book's about over 200 pages long. So I'm going to give one away right now. And I'm going to give one away next week. So we're going to spin on that thing. All right, let's do it. I actually quite, you know what? Maybe, yeah, you know what? This is the way. We'll do it this way. All right, good luck, everybody. Boom. Damien Lloyd, congratulations. You know what? I said I wasn't going to call. We're going to call. It's because of the fear I have of calling. Usually, but like these ones are pretty easy because there's no, situation where someone's denying this prize. Okay. Let's call Damien and also get his thoughts on the game tomorrow.
The person you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, Damien. It's Tez from Blue Abroad. Just calling because you've won a prize. If you can give me a call back, that'd be great. I'm live on stream right now. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. See you, mate. Damn it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Calls are awesome, but now it's about to get stressful because I have to manually get your names in right now. So what I've got now for people, so I've got, thanks to a great member, his name is Michael Canavan. He was going to call in, but he's a bit busy and he's a bit all over the place and he can't be here. But he's giving away, can't go to the game tomorrow. And he messaged me, he said, love your work. It's very important. I've got 2 tickets. I want to give them away to people who can't get to the game tomorrow. But I want to make sure that they are Blue Abroad, viewers. So The tickets are in the Olympic stand N53, row H, seat 20, seat 21. So 2 seats next to each other. Beautiful spot. I can actually show you right now. Let's do this. Find my seat, MCG. Find my seat. Does anybody else do this? Surely, right? Find my seat. N53. There's your view right there. All right. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, 2 seats. If you are interested in these tickets and you want to enter this draw, you don't need to be a member. It'd be great if you were. Or, hold on. Damien?
Hey, Kerry, how you going?
Mate, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Mate, I'm very well. I'm live on the team show. So
Excellent.
just want to make sure I'm not doing a Dan Gorringe on you, getting your private conversation out there in the public.
No, all good, all good.
Mate, I just had a gift that was given to me on Monday. It's a book called The Champions of Carlton. And basically Miles, who created the book, wanted me to give it away to a Blue Abroad member, and we spanned the wheel and your name came up. So you've won the book.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So it's
Thanks, Miles.
yeah, no, it's a good book. I mean, it's got all the champions of Carlton, 200 plus pages, good coffee table book. So yeah, I just want to say you've won and thank you very much for being a member.
Oh, good. Thanks, Tez.
No worries. What about tomorrow? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Feel like it'll either make or break our season like last year. But yeah, I think we'll get the job done. I'm happy with the team changes, adding a bit more speed. I think we'll get the job done. It won't be a big win, but yeah, 4 or 5 goals maybe.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
No, very good, mate. Well, yeah, thank you once again. Congratulations, and mate, we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Cheers. Thanks.
See ya. All right, let me write this down. Okay, what I'm going to do is, those of you who are interested in the seats to enter for tomorrow, type in, first of all, you need to be able to go. I won't be able to call you. That's the issue. So how would I get you? That's a, you know what? That's a real shame, but I won't be able to call. That's a real shame. Okay. But what I'll do is I'll put the link to join in the chat. And if you would like to call in, you can. Anyway, if you would like to enter for the 2 tickets tomorrow, please type the word interested right now. And I will write your name down into the wheel. Jamie, fan cams will go off if we lose. I think fan cams will go off if we win, right? No? We won't be happy if we win tomorrow? Put your phone number on the screen. That'll work. All right. Jeremy McQueen. I got to write this. Ah, gosh. Jezza 0790. This is fucking, this is, there's got to be a way I can, you know what? I should create a form, not now, for the next time, that you just enter your details into the form and do it that way. That would actually be ideal. I don't know what I was thinking doing it manually. BTD. Fon Capet. Maya Lemorte. Jake Mozzie. JTME. Niche 04. Matthew Nisbet. All right. Good odds here. Geez, a lot of you. Gosh. Luca Rigoto. Soul Keeper. Nank. Gosh, maybe I should have created a form. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Disaster. I have stitched myself up a treat here. Daniel. You know what? Maybe you guys can watch the promo while I write names down.
There are moments in football that refuse to fade. Moments that sit in the memory of a club, in the silence of the locker room, in the quiet, in the gym, on the track, in the quiet conversations that happen when no one else is listening. Because the best teams, they don't forget the losses that hurt the most. They use them. And now the stage is set once again. Carlton, Richmond, round 1. Same rivalry, same stakes. But maybe, just maybe, this Carlton team is different.
All right. There you go. I've got the names in. Entries are closed. That was definitely round 1 rust. And I will have a form ready for the next giveaway. That's not from. This is actually the perfect reason why the membership exists. It's because I don't need to do this manual stuff. When there's a giveaway, I have people's details and I can just put their names, copy paste into the thing, and away we go. But whatever. Now, if your name comes up right here, what I'll do is I'll put the link, and like if I don't have your number, then what I'll do is if I know who you are and I've got your number, I'll call you. If I don't have your number, then I'm going to put the link to join in the stream. If I don't know who you are, we haven't interacted before, so I'll ask you to come on, say a quick hello, and then what I'll do is I'll end the stream, and I need you to stay on the line with me so that I can organize your tickets for you, and that way we don't. Good luck. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. I'm going to share my screen. Do this again. So 2 tickets to the game tomorrow goes to. That man over there, I don't know who you are, but if you could click that link in the live chat, that would be great. So I can, first of all, congratulate you. And second of all, end the stream, get your details, and go from there. So congratulations to that man over there. I also need to confirm that you'll take the tickets. Otherwise, we're spinning that thing again. Hello, Connor. Good to see you, mate. That man over there, where you at? Uh-oh. We need someone to we need him to confirm, he or her, that that man over there. We need him to confirm that he's taking the tickets, right? Like that's how this works. Did Morgan Freeman win the tickets? No, he didn't. Nick Minute, 5 people join the link. I mean, where's he gone? I'll spin again. No issue. Surely. Yeah, I think he did go. I think he went over there. He did. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a minute. Nah, surely. Yeah, I'm gonna respin, but I'll give him a chance. Like he only just put his name in, and then I drew it 5 minutes later. Is it a respin? Is it a respin? Is that what's happening? Yeah, if he was here to say interested before, then he... You know what? This is my fault. This is my fault. This is what happens when you don't be planned, when you're not planned, and I don't create a form. I'm going to put a stopwatch, 60 seconds. Timer. 1 minute. That man over there. Got a minute. Wait, he's here? Where? Oh my God, wow. I just entered for fun. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to waste time. Bruh. Okay. You know, I appreciate your honesty because we can just spin that thing again. So that man is not over there. That man is not here, is what you're telling me. Okay. All right. Thanks, mate. That man over there. But he's not here. We're going to pick a new winner. Ready? Absolute show. Oh my goodness. This is the third time Joanne has won a ticket giveaway. This is unbelievable. I actually know exactly who this is. This is unbelievable. Jojo and Bailey. Like I'm pretty sure this is the third time I'm going to be giving tickets to Joanne. Amazing. Actually amazing. That man was neither here or there. That sent me, Frankie.
Hello.
Hello, Joanne.
Hi.
Jojo and Bailey.
Correct.
This is ridiculous. This is actually, you know, I was thinking when you entered, as I'm writing your name in the group, I'm like, I wonder if you'll come up again. And sure enough, you will come up again. You are here.
Yes.
So congratulations. You've won 2 reserve seats tomorrow in the Olympic stand.
Oh, perfect. Thanks very much.
No worries. I'll call you when the show finishes, but I'm going to assume that I'm sending it to the same place as last time.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Well, what are your thoughts tomorrow?
Well, I think we should win. So, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You never know what's around the corner, but yeah, surely we can rely on them tomorrow.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah. Well, Joanne, I'll be in touch. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
All right. See ya.
And in the end, it goes to a member. Joanne is a member of Blue Abroad. So there you go. We have a winner. Those are courtesy of Michael. Thank you very much to Michael for donating them. Let me just... tickets. So we had Punna, who won the Guernsey, Damien, who won the book, and Joanne, who won the tickets to the game tomorrow. So there you go. That's a great teams show. I absolutely love this show. What I'll do is, before we head off, I'll just bring up the team one last time, just for those of you who tuned in a little late. Wait, what if we did this? Oh, hang on. That works, sort of. Yeah, that works. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Anyway, these are the teams. Punna, yes, good to have you here. Thank you for being a part of it, my friend. And congratulations. Guys, tomorrow it's on. Cowan, Carroll, and Hudson O'Keefe are in for Adam Sard, who is injured with a hamstring, Ashton Moyer, who's been omitted, and Liam Reedy, who has been omitted. So that'll do it there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much to Mr. Cabinets for sponsoring the show. If you're not following Mr. Cabinets on Instagram, the least you could do is at least give them a follow on Instagram and support them. And anyway, we'll go from there. I might see you tomorrow afternoon for some game day action. How about that? We might do a little lunchtime, 45 minutes to an hour chit chat, depending on what's going on throughout the day. And actually, no, we won't be doing that. What am I talking about? I'll be going to the VFL tomorrow. So we won't be doing game day tomorrow, maybe a little earlier. I am keen to do some game day chats. All right.